going
From
to
the
go
old to the new?
to a new musical. I will hand
Based
you
on
that
an old
one, yes.
musical,
Based-
sort of.
Well, based on a movie musical, but it's also based on a story.
And it's not Disney.
It's
A musical
not
based on a
Disney,
cartoon, and it's not
but
Disney.
she's a Disney princess nonetheless.
Oh,
The Anastasia is a Disney princess nonetheless. But
Okay.
it brings back. It's Warner Brothers, I think, isn't it? Or
20th Century
Universal-
Fox,
22
actually.
No, I wasn't even close. Okay, 20th Century Fox. Thank you. But it brings us back with Terrence McNally on the book and Stephen Flaherty and Lynn Ahrens on the music and lyrics and
Yes.
music. And it's the story of the Crown Princess of Russia, Anastasia, who was supposed to be shot with all of her family. And I mean, imagine starting off a musical by having the family shot, including the adorable little boy. And then it's years later, after the Stalinist Russia has come to be.
Or more like Lenin, I think.
Lenin, you're right. Well, Stalin was in the army, but okay, I mean, Stalin superseded, no, not superseded, yes, took after him. Anyway, the point is that...
Point is, it's the beginning of the Soviet Union, and the royal
Right.
family is not welcome.
not only not welcome, they think they're dead. And whatever White Russians, the royal family was called the White Russians, and the others were the Red Russians, the proletariat were the Red Russians. And whatever White Russians are left are all in Paris, which welcomed them, but they all wound up being things like doormen. There were wonderful movies in the time period, including Ninotchka, which is to say about this, where the White Russians are working in menial jobs, and then they get together, and then they are the royal countess and whatnot, and it's very funny. And there are two wonderful characters, sub characters, who are made up specifically for this production. I mean, they're from the cartoon. This is based on a cartoon. We have to keep reminding ourselves. But they are played by John Bolton and Caroline O'Connor. And they are a fake baron, and the real lady in waiting. Caroline O'Connor is the lady in waiting over here. I'm not up to her yet.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And so they are an older couple who have an old. You almost expect them to break out into I remember it well. They're that kind of a couple.
Well, the bottom line is you have that character and one other by I think Derek Klena.
Well,
Basically want to pass off a young woman
Yes.
as the granddaughter. Anastasia's grandmother is living in Paris. She's very wealthy.
Now,
and
Anastasia's
they
grandmother is played by Mary Beth Peel, who's been
Yes.
nominated for both the Drama Desk and the Tony Award.
Right.
And I
You
adore
may remember her from Good Wife. She was the husband's mother.
And from a play I directed downtown.
And the other woman is Christy Altomer, a young woman who
Yes.
these two frauds basically try to pass off as Anastasia. The only thing is she might actually be Anastasia.
And there's a musical clue that keeps coming up with a music box that
Right.
is finally what. Now, this is also based on an old movie, based on the historical incident.
Right.
So in the movie, Ingrid Bergman was the Anastasia. Helen Hayes was the grandmother, and Yul Brynner was the only single person who was involved in this. He was the
So how did you like Christy
Altomar?
Altomar?
I thought she was charming. I thought she was a Disney princess. I thought she just had those big eyes and that high voice.
And it's a beautiful, beautiful voice. The interesting thing is, I took my daughter. I actually have not seen the cartoon. I actually want to. I took my daughter, Mira, and she said, "Well, you know, it was all right, but they had a much better. They had Rasputin as the villain." In the movie,
cartoon.
he's not here. Here, they've replaced him with a
With Ramin Karamu,
a Russian bureaucrat who's basically been told, "Your father killed the royal family. Now go kill the next one." And she said, "Well, it's not as dramatic." Even so, I enjoyed it. The score is not quite up to the level of Ragtime,
No,
but it's
nothing
good,
could
and you've
be.
got some nice, you know, a pleasant, enjoyable. Again, the feel good, another feel good musical.
Well, surprisingly, given what it's
with a
based
happy
on,
ending.
I want to say that Derek Klena reminded me on stage of Tom Cruise. He had this, you know, clean-cut jaw, firm jaw, and whatnot. A star in the making. And Ramin Karimloo, I said it wrong before, who we saw recently in Les Mis, plays the made-up member of the Red Army who's out to get her.
Right. It's a good cast. It's an enjoyable production. I would give it 3.5.
Directed by Darko Chesnik, who's not known for musicals.
Until now.
And until now, and I think he did a brilliant job on this musical.
The one thing I would say, though, the set, they use a little too much video or
I
film or
loved it.
projection.
Oh, God, it made
Okay.
me feel like I was in. The video projections are,
Okay.
again, that's a difference of opinion, you know.
Obviously. And how would you rate it?
Oh, I would give it 4.5. It was
Oh.
among my favorites of the season. Truly.